Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of From Book to Cook. I'm Paddy, your librarian host, and I am on a quest to meet people who champion classic dishes and uncover amazing stories from Singapore's heritage. Today, we are uncovering a rare treasure, Hakka abacus seeds. And here to tell us more is heritage researcher, content creator, and chef Sarah Huang Benjamin.
Hi, Paddy.
Hello, Sarah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and today we are making Hakka abacus seeds.
Yes.
I understand you have sort of like a personal connection to this dish. Could you tell me more?
Well, I was
How did it
helping
start?
out. I
Helping
was
out.
helping out when I was young. My ipo, my grand aunt, would be prepping a lot of these ingredients and the little abacus dumplings before Chinese New Year. So every time when I come back from school in that week, I would sit down in the kitchen and help roll. So I got my
So
practice
fun.
since I was very young.
Right, so is there a significance to the dish itself? There's a symbolism in a lot of Chinese New Year dishes, correct?
Correct. So you'll see it later. You'll make it later on as well.
Okay,
But
sure.
basically, the shape of the little dumplings, they're called 算盘子 in Mandarin.
算盘子.
算盘子 is the abacus that you count, money with.
Right.
So they look like the little seeds, the beads on that.
Okay.
And the more you count, the more money you have. So it's a prosperous dish. It's meant to signify good fortune, which is what you want in Chinese New Year.
Perfect. So let's start making it, shall we? Let's go make some money.
Let's make some money.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with yam. This is the base of the dumpling. From what I've heard from my family, a lot of Hakka people in China, they had a very tough time because they were refugees from the north. So a lot of the ingredients that they work with are very humble, and yam is one of those things. It just, it grows in the ground, you get
Correct.
it out. And so a lot of the dishes have this very hearty consistency, that's something that really fills you up.
Exactly.
So we just need to take the skin off of the yam. So we're just gonna cut off the skin, and that purple kind of tinge that the yam has, those
Yeah.
strands, when it cooks, it kind of gives the color. So what you have are the little dumplings that are kind of purplish in color. I think it's a very pretty dish.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how most of it, when you cut it open, is white. But then we would mostly associate taro with that color purple.
So there are many different types of taro.
Okay.
This is what we kind of standard in Mandarin, we say yu tou. So this
Okay.
is yam. So we just want to make it easy to steam them. We're going to cut it into thin slices like that.
Okay.
That's all. And then we will be steaming these until they're very, very soft.
Okay.
And
Need some
then,
more?
you know what? You can do this one.
Okay, let me try. Just cut it in half.
Oh, hang on. Just
Oh, the
cut out the
tips
top
first.
and bottom first.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Careful. So the thing with yam is that every yam is kind of slightly different. So that's where the element of like agak-agak comes in.
Yeah.
Because the ratio of how much water we need to put in later on, that is affected by how starchy the yam is.
Right.
So sometimes when you cut in, you'll see like this is it's quite like white, and you can kind of feel that it's a little powdery as well. You see how it's like
Yeah.
drying up on my hands? So that's the leftover starch. And when they get older, they get starchier. So when you get a really young, small yam, it doesn't really feel like this. It's a lot wetter.
Oh,
So
okay.
when you're making the dumpling, you don't have to add as much water for that. But for this, you need to add probably a little bit more.
And how did this dish originate actually? Like, is it like a very traditional Hakka dish in China or?
So the thing with Hakka food is that it's a little complex. There's not really such a thing as Hakka food for a start. Because the origin story of Hakka people is that they were from the north of China,
Okay.
and because of wars or disasters, famine, they were refugees who moved down south. So in China, you'll find Hakka people spread across the Fujian and Guangdong province.
Okay.
And these pockets of Hakka populations, the villages, they're not well connected to each other because they, the Hokkiens, the Teochew, the Cantonese, they were already there. They took the coastal areas, the parts where it's easy to trade, they were established. So where the Hakkas could set up were in those hilly areas, places that people didn't really want to, it's not easy to farm, you can't fish,
Right,
very
right.
hilly. So when you're living in hilly areas, one hilly area and another hilly area, you're kind of split up by other people, like
Yeah.
the Teochews, the Cantonese, the Hokkiens. So every kind of little community of Hakkas became quite isolated. So when Hakka people get to know each other, what they'll ask is, what kind of Hakka are you? So which part are you from? You could be a Hepo Hakka, Hepo, or you could be a Maesian Hakka, which is a different area. So my family are Dapu Hakkas, Dapu County in Guangdong Province. And this dish is a signature dish of Dapu Hakkas.
Wow.
So if you speak to Hakkas who descend from Maesian or Hepo, they won't have this.
From there, your ancestors, they brought this dish from Tapu all the way to Singapore.
So I'm actually, on my grandmother's side, I'm actually kind of like a recent Singaporean. Her family established here in Malaya. So they kept their Hakka heritage very close to them. And it was very important to them. So a lot of my relatives, they're very proud of being Hakka. I have a grand-aunt and grand-uncle who, they cook Hakka food, obviously. I have a grand-uncle and a grand-aunt who, they know a lot about Hakka food. They're a great resource for me. They do Hakka folk singing.
Wow.
So yeah, my family is very into being Hakka for sure.
They're very proud of their heritage.
Very proud of
right?
their heritage. It's an enjoyable way to get in touch with your heritage,
Yes.
But when you talk about the food, everyone has good memories of that.
Interesting. What did they do when they first came to Singapore, your grandmother?
Her family ran pawn shops.
Oh.
Yeah, which apparently is quite a common trait for Hakka people.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, people always ask me, oh, did you learn this dish from your grandmother? Absolutely not. Because my grandmother was not a cook. She never stayed home. She was a career woman her whole life. She was a music teacher. She was quite an accomplished opera singer, like a Western opera singer. So it's very interesting because this dish I associate with her heritage, but for her, she's never cooked it. But she had a lot of opinions on how I cooked it, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm just gonna steam the yam.
Sure.
And that takes around 20 minutes, and
Okay.
then we can do some other stuff.
Perfect. So we've got dried shrimp and dried squid over here.
Yeah, so these are, dried seafood. Like I said, Hakka cuisine doesn't really have a lot of fresh seafood because they don't have much access to the coast.
Yep.
So things like dried shrimp, dried squid, they give you a lot of that umami seafoody
Yes,
flavor
yes.
without using actual seafood. And then also a lot of the flavor comes from dried shiitake mushrooms. The smell of this, I'm sure you can already smell it. It's really deep, really, really flavorful. And then we also have dried black fungus.
Right.
More for texture than anything, I think. But altogether, these ingredients, one thing about this dish that's great is that actually you can kind of make it pretty easily because I usually have these ingredients in my pantry anyway.
Right.
So they're kind of ready to go.
Right.
And when an ingredient is dried and then rehydrated, the flavor of it is so much more intense than the fresh version. So a fresh shiitake mushroom versus this, totally like worlds apart.
Right,
So
right.
this is a super, super flavorful dish.
Interesting. So the preservation method of drying it also has a plus point of deepening the flavor when you use it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay.
These have been soaked overnight, and actually this is the water that they were soaked in, so I never ever throw this away. It has so much flavor, there's flavor coming out of them as they soak.
That's true.
So we're going to use this later on when we cook, but for now, I just want to make sure that they're really well dried, so you just want to
Oh wow, there's
squeeze
a lot of water
them
still
out.
inside.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And then we're going to cut the stem off, like this. And then we're just going to slice it.
Okay.
That's it.
Just like that.
Get to work, Patty.
Okay, I'll try. Yes, chef. You soak them overnight, you said.
So I usually soak them overnight. I mean, you can usually get away with maybe 6 hours, but a lot of people soak them in hot water. I don't like doing that because I feel that the outside gets soft while the inside stays hard. So I prefer to just use room temperature water and soak them
That's the
overnight.
secret sauce, basically.
Yes, exactly. Secret sauce. It all comes together to become the secret sauce. And actually, you know what? While you do that, I'll start on the fungus.
Sure.
So the fungus. Have you had black fungus before? I'm sure you have.
Yes,
right?
I have. Yes.
It's very kind of like crunchy. And it just adds this like nice dimension to this dish.
Like you said, it's a very textural addition to it, right?
That much flavor. I think
how
it's
would you-
definitely a texture thing. But for my family's recipe for abacus, it's a very important addition. And I would say we actually put a little bit more of the black fungus than what you might see outside. Passed down kind of like orally, and we don't have written recipes.
Yep.
These are things that we collect from our ancestors. So just like a game of broken telephone, every family's version kind of like diverges.
Exactly. Yeah, I know what you mean. Are there any other recipes though that are famous in the Hakka community?
For Dapu Hakka, like my family, a big one is Yong Tau Fu, which in Hakka, that's one Hakka thing I can say. My mom trained me. Nyang Tau Fu. Nyang Tau Fu.
So that's right. That's how we're supposed to say it.
And Hakka Yong Tau Fu is the origin of Yong Tau Fu. That's where the dish comes from. But it's a little different than what you might have had out in the hawker centers because Hakka Yong Tau Fu has to contain pork. That's what makes it Hakka Yong Tau Fu. So if you've had the one that's just fish paste, that's the kind of like evolution. And then another dish that my family is very fond of is what we call it ji jiu, which is like, it literally translates to chicken wine. So it's basically just rice wine chicken with ginger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you use a lot of wine, like an entire bottle for one chicken. So it's a very strong dish.
Right.
I think a lot of people will know it as confinement food.
Okay. You mentioned actually that the Hakka community is not very big, right? Not one of the larger communities in Singapore. But there are some famous Hakka Singaporeans, right, that we should know of.
There's one very famous one
Yes.
for sure. Are we like thinking of the same person? I think so.
The
Famous Hakka Singaporean, yes, definitely.
right, which is Mr. Lee Kuan Yew.
Mr. Lee Kuan Yew.
Yeah.
Okay, the yam is cooked now. The yam has to be hot when it's mixed into the starch. That really helps it to become chewier, bouncier, QQ, as we say in Chinese. While it's still hot, we're gonna mash it in to tapioca starch.
Oh, it's so soft once you've steamed it.
It's really important to get it really soft because when you have kind of like chunks in it,
Yeah.
it's not terrible, but it doesn't have the same texture. Do you want to squeeze? It's actually really fun.
Okay,
Let's
I'll try
do it. You do it.
I'll try.
It's very satisfying, actually.
Just squeeze like this.
Yeah. It's satisfying,
yeah.
right? It's fun.
I feel like I'm playing with Play-Doh.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I like it so
Yeah.
much. So I'm just gonna mix this up first.
Sure. Yes.
And we need to also season the mixture.
Okay.
So a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of sugar.
Okay.
So I'm just mixing it in a little bit so we can kind of judge the consistency. We're gonna add a little bit more yam to it.
Sure. What made you want to preserve this recipe actually and share it with everyone?
This is a recipe that's very, it means a lot to me. It reminds me, the person it reminds me of most is my ipo, my grand aunt. So she was my grandmother's younger sister. And she helped to bring me up. She lived with my family since I was born.
Yeah.
So we even shared a bedroom until I was like 20 years old, actually. So she was like my closest older relative. She was blind since a very young age, 5 years old. She went blind in China. But she loved food and she could cook and she made this. And, it really was very important to me that this small thing, that this shared memory I have with my ipo, that I didn't just let it go to waste. I wanted to be able to continue that for my family because no one else in my family can make this who's still alive. So yeah, it was very important to me to do that. My aspiration for this recipe was to be able to create something that I could just write down and someone else could recreate this perfectly.
Yep.
This is the part that gets a little complicated because the amount of water you add is very much based on the yam. So there's an element of feeling to it. This is where I go in. So
Right
the
now.
reason I have to go in with my hands is because I really need to kind of mix the starch and the yam together. And you kind of need to work that in. You can't do it with a spatula.
Right.
Actually, my family always says, so you can just knead it, squeeze it together. My family always says that you're not supposed to make this in an aircon room. Because it gets cold too
Affects the
fast.
temperature. Okay.
At first, I kind of listened to that. I turned off the aircon in the house when I did this. Now I'm just like, I just add more hot water when it dries out.
Exactly.
Please, it's so hot.
Needless suffering.
I don't believe in suffering to make good food. This is actually a pretty perfect dough. Okay, if I pull off a little bit and I roll it into a ball, you can see like it holds itself together, but it's not sticky. So it has this nice like matte kind of feeling,
Yep.
but when you press, it also is not cracking very badly. That's really what you want.
Okay. If I can describe it, it kind of feels like Play-Doh.
Play-Doh.
When I say, yeah, it's got like a Play-Doh feel.
Very satisfying feeling
Yeah.
actually.
I can imagine why when you were young and making this, it was like
So fun.
Yeah, it's like, whee.
And then you're gonna roll it, but this is the key. While you roll, apply a little bit of pressure, and that kind of helps this to re-knead, and it brings the dough together in a nice way. So if you just roll it lightly,
Right.
you won't really get that stickiness that you need.
Yes.
So once you've done that, you can roll it into a nice ball,
So good.
and then you take your little thumb and index finger, and you just squeeze it like that.
Okay.
So you get a nice depression,
Oh, wow, it looks
top
so good.
and bottom. And the idea is, if you have a wooden stick running through these, it looks like the abacus,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
it does.
So that is the abacus.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Now, your turn.
Okay. I want bite-sized amount.
Okay, so squish it a little bit,
Squish it a little bit.
then lighten the pressure.
Oh, I can feel it. It's almost like
It comes
when-
back together,
when you roll
right?
blue tack, and like you give it a little bit of pressure, a bit of heat, and like the gluten or whatever that's in it. That
I love how
bonds together.
crafty your references are. Play-Doh, blue tack, like that. Patty, you're very good at this.
Really? Is this okay?
Yes! I'm gonna tell my mother to watch this. I'd be like,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
he can do it.
Right.
What we need to do now is boil it. Let's see if we can get all these in.
Right.
So we just boil them until they float up.
Okay. It's like they're at a. It's like a little flash.
No, more.
More.
Like we
okay.
want them to pretty much cool down.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
We're just gonna make one sauce. So the base, actually, this might be a little unexpected if you're not familiar with Hakka food, is fish sauce. It is the most important flavoring in this
Oh,
dish.
okay.
So that's the one that we put the most of. I usually go with 2 tablespoons to start with.
Okay.
Then some light soy sauce,
Nice.
a little bit of oyster sauce,
Okay.
touch of sugar, just to balance out
Yep.
the savory flavors.
Yep.
It's not to make it sweet or anything. That's the base. And this is just a simple pork broth. Thank you.
Cooking oil.
Some cooking oil. So a little bit of oil is gonna go in. So I usually start with the pork. So I think we'll just do a half portion. So you're just gonna break up the pork, make sure it's in little bits.
Okay.
Now the pork is cooked. I'm gonna add some garlic. So just saute that up. And then the next thing we're gonna add is some dried squids, and this will add a lot of flavor. Now we'll add in some of the dried squid that I just blitzed in a food processor. Okay, now I'll put in the mushrooms.
It's smelling very familiar now.
Very familiar, that's
Yes.
good. It's very hearty.
Yeah, it's that home cooked smell. It's like the smell of home.
So that's the black fungus. Wow, very professional, I like it.
Try my best.
So now I'll go in with the pork broth. And we just kind of let that braise down a little bit. I can add some of that mushroom water as well. Okay, so at this point, we'll pour in the sauce. Just give it a good stir, and we'll go in with, let's say, half to start with, and we can add more if it's not
Right.
enough.
Half, yeah. Can I just put it around like this? Do we need to do
Can
that?
just pour lah.
Just pour lah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, so the color changes once we put that in. And now we can add the abacus. Okay, I'm gonna go in with all of it. Okay. We will add white pepper.
White pepper.
And then also another thing that my family likes a lot of as a garnish is Chinese celery. And it gives a nice green touch as well.
Yeah.
You can smell the white pepper once it hits the heat.
Brilliant.
Okay.
That's about it, right?
And that's it.
Alright,
That really is it.
Let's put it on a plate and try it.
Yes.
All right, let's dig in.
Let's dig in.
Thank you very much. Can't wait. I mean, it is a privilege to taste this. It kind of feels like there's this connection, like you said, to when the Hakka people first came to Singapore in, when was it?
The 19th century to the 1800s.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Oh, it's a pretty long time ago. And it's nice that, we have that connection. Let me just taste it a bit, because now we've added.
Excited to know what you think of the final product.
Exactly, right? We've added.
If I do say so myself, it's very good.
It's very good. The pepper that you added, definitely, yeah,
Makes a difference, right?
it does, it does.
Actually, it's really interesting because the Hakkas, when they first arrived, some of them were involved in growing pepper, Gambier. So maybe that's why my grandmother was so insistent on having a really good amount of white pepper in there.
Right, you mentioned that they said that it was really important, so
Yeah.
it must have been a really big part of like their daily lives, basically. They worked with pepper, they use it in
Yeah.
their food, it's part
Yeah.
of their living and everything. Oh, very cool. And when your grandmother came to Singapore, was there already like an establishment of the community over here?
Definitely at least 100 years there have been Hakkas in Singapore because there's a Hakka established temple, Fuk Tak Chi temple, and that was started in the 1820s. So for at least 100 years, they had already been in Singapore.
Wow, okay, yeah, it's like almost 200 years, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we're so lucky to have this right now, because it would be such a shame to have like 200-year at least history in Singapore and then this dies out and no one knows about it.
I know I feel like I have a bit of personal responsibility, so whatever I can do to keep something alive, I'll do it. And that's coming on here, sharing this recipe with everybody, cooking this dish for my family. Yeah, it means a lot to me.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Sarah, for coming on the show. It's been such a privilege to help you cook this and taste this.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for helping me as well.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did a really good job. Your advocates were perfect.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you. You flatter me. And that's it for today's episode of From Book to Cook. If you'd like to find out more about Hakka culture or try your hand in making your own abacus seeds, head on over to our BiblioAsia website for the recipe and other related resources.